one of the things I thought about was, Murphy's law, right? Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So this was reverse Murphy's law. I don't know if there's a proper term for it. I'll have to Google that.
Anti-Murphy law.
Yeah. So, see, everything went right, what you could have expected. And when we were discussing, what we'll talk about in this video, the positives and negatives or question marks, literally 9 out of 11 players made it into the positives list, which is a very rare thing for us as Indian fans, and also winning a trophy at
I
the end
thought
of it,
maybe
because
Kishan will
normally
be
we
the
do.
original keeper, but interestingly, Rahul has kept in all the games. So a big tick mark on both the runs and the keeping as well.
Wickets. And that
Yeah.
catch he took for Pereira in the final, that
Huh.
was actually in front of first slip. So he
Hmm.
actually dove like that. So
Correct.
very good to see that he didn't take the easy route. I am sure he could have, wherein Kishan would have kept the wickets and he would have played as a batter. But glad to see he took that harder
Hmm.
route to see test his fitness to see whether in the World Cup he can keep and bat. So I think he's answered those questions as well. And surprise, surprise, he's now the captain for the Australia series for the first time of his life. So he's
देने
like
वाला जब भी देता देता छप्पर
Chapar
फाड़
Park.
के। Hello, all, and welcome to a new video on the Third Men Musings. So, we are back now with the review of India's performance in the Asia Cup and what a Asia Cup it's been. Around 1 or 2 weeks back, all the Indian cricket fans were thinking, where is this team heading? Will we make it to the semis of the World Cup, that to being a home World Cup? But wow, the Indian team has left us spellbound. So many great performances, right? And which has excited all of us, and we have won the Asia Cup very easily, and hopefully we will now take this form going into the World Cup as well. So Sumit, before we do the deep dive on what went well for India, and anything that we need to look forward to, but your initial thoughts, how did you feel India performed in this Asia Cup?
So I think one of the things I thought about was, Murphy's law, right? Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So this was reverse Murphy's law. I don't know if there's a proper term for it. I'll have to Google that.
Anti-Murphy law.
Yeah. So, see, everything went right, what you could have expected. And when we were discussing, what we'll talk about in this video, the positives and negatives or question marks, literally 9 out of 11 players made it into the positives list, which is a very rare thing for us as Indian fans, and also winning a trophy at the end of it. Because normally we do get good performances, but the trophy is missing at the end. So anything that could have got wrong did not go wrong, and everything what we wanted happened. And I know today the announcement for Australia squad also came around, and I'm sure if we had lost this trophy and then the rest had happened for our seniors, we would have cribbed and bitched about it. So for once, we are happy that people are resting and we have more chances and opportunities. So we'll go over everything in this video. So we'll start with the positives, which is many, many, and I don't know if we'll cover everything. So we'll start with the top. Rohit Sharma, the captain. So, what did you feel about this Rohit Sharma versus what we've been seeing since a long time? So, yeah.
Right. First of all, I think he looked fitter, right? I mean, he looked good. Three continuous 50s on the trot against Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. And remember, the Pakistan and Sri Lanka games were in fact back to back, right? With the game
Yes.
going into the reserve day. So that I liked. And what I also liked, Sumit, was if you saw Rohit Sharma over the last one and a half years, because he wanted to set the tone of the innings, he was going very aggressive up front, right? And sometimes that odd rash shot came and he was losing his wickets. I think here he was measured, like in the start he gave that respect to the bowlers, and then once he was set he started going after the bowling. So that I think was very impressive. That And his captaincy also was good. I think he
It
was
was good.
spot on. Yesterday in the final also against Sri Lanka, he saw that
Very
Siraj
aggressive.
was, he had really put Sri Lanka on the mat, and he kept him going. He didn't, think, okay, let me bring him back later on. So I felt even his captaincy was spot on this time round.
And he was jumping in the field, which is a rare sight. All those catches in the slip were heartening to see. So, fitness wise, again, he can't be Kohli, let's admit that. But I think he looked the best he could be. And the fact that he hit 3 consecutive 50s, which he hasn't done in IPL since 5, 6 years or any ODI, shows that he is getting there. So, right time for him to bounce back and be the old hitman. I doubt we'll see a 200. I mean, I hope he
Yeah,
proves us wrong, but
that will
he's
be
doing
difficult. Yeah.
he's giving that platform to Gill, who's actually blossoming into the next big thing. Once the senior lot go, ultimately they will get phased out in the next 2 years. But Gill was the top scorer for this Asia Cup, and uh, that first match scared us against Pakistan. Where he could not touch the ball. It looked like, where has he come? What is this? What, this prince is not the prince. So, but after that, it was heartening to see what he did with Pakistan the second match, the aggressive approach, how he took on Shaheen and Naseem, and they broke the back. I think he set the tone for those innings. So, and then that innings against Bangladesh, I think the
Hmm.
only complaint I would have is he didn't finish it like Kohli would usually and win the match. But that was such a wonderful innings on that tough pitch, and he was the last man standing, just trying his heart out, and then he got out unfortunately. But that 120 was gold dust, I think, on that pitch. So very good signs. He was off color in West Indies, and now he looks back. And in India, I know he'll score runs anyway. So
Yeah.
now at least your openers are sorted, where Rohit will give the impetus, I think, and then Gale and Kohli are going to run the middle overs. So Kohli. Again, Kohli being Kohli, he just performed a one-run match against Pakistan, and that was enough. I think after that he chilled, and he has this funny meme going on where he's running like I don't know which
That
cartoon
was hilarious. Yeah.
character, but just the enthusiasm and the joy he has is something again a very good sign for the team. And I think that innings encapsulated everything because 100 he scored in the entire tournament. He's not in the top run scorers, but that impact of that innings will be felt for ages to come, especially for Pakistan bowlers who are now
Correct.
in
Yeah,
the
he
hospital.
has this mental block over them now, right? I mean, last T20 World Cup he killed them, and this time also, if you remember that innings at the front, he was just taking his
Very
time. In
slow,
fact, Rahul was scoring at a
aggressive,
quicker rate, and the last 5 overs he just turned it on, right? And there was one shot he hit of Naseem,
straight sixes.
yeah, straight six again, reminiscent of that Rough six, right? So again, I think he turned it on, and by the time Pakistan got done with the 50 overs, they had
They were
given
done.
up in the field itself because of that knock. So Rohit Kohli and Gill, the top three
Three.
in great form, great signs for us going forward. Yeah.
So then came our favorite player, KL Rahul. So very scared for this guy, wondering, but he knew he'll get the preference. But
Yeah.
one thing again, this Rahul looked like the Rahul of old. This
And
looked
don't
like
forget, he wasn't even supposed to play that match, right?
that. You
Like
know how it works. So
the story is that Dravid
back
15 minutes
spasms
before the
happening.
match told him, "Hey, get
Uh,
ready, you're playing." So yeah,
oh,
go on.
let's
Sorry.
believe that for now. Max passes just happen in the team. Even Imamul got them by the way before to get Fakar. So this happens with cricketers. I don't know why. So that innings reminded me of the old Rahul, the one we loved, the one we
Mhm.
thought would be the torch, would take the torch from Kohli when the time comes. And this Rahul looked like that, very compact and very sure of himself, and not in that screwed up mindset that Punjab 11's gave him. I think for life. I think he's fresher. And that injury actually did him good than bad, and he looks like the old Rahul, right? You could see that class and elegance and the range of strokes. Everything was there back again. So
Correct. And what I was happy was like he looked in a clear state of mind, right? I think when he was going through that bad phase, you could see it in his face. He looked a
the
bit
tension,
clueless. He looked like he would get out any ball. His inside edges were hitting, the ball was hitting the inside edge and ricocheting on the stumps. I think this time he looked much assured. Even remember the Sri Lanka game, right? I mean, the league
yes,
game
yes,
where the ball was turning, he was actually using his footwork very well and, making runs, front foot and back foot. So I think that was a big plus. Plus his keeping, right? Don't forget he's
yeah,
kept in all the games. So we thought maybe Kishan will be the original keeper, but interestingly, Rahul has kept in all the games. So a big tick mark on both the runs and the keeping as well.
wickets. And that
Yeah.
catch he took for Pereira in the final, that
Huh.
was actually in front of first slip. So he
Hmm.
actually dove like that. So
Correct.
very good to see that he didn't take the easy route. I am sure he could have, wherein Kishan would have kept the wickets and he would have played as a batter. But glad to see he took that harder
Hmm.
route to see test his fitness to see whether in the World Cup he can keep and bat. So I think he's answered those questions as well. And surprise, surprise, he's now the captain for the Australia series for the first time. So he's
देने
like
वाला जब भी देता देता छप्पर
the
फाड़
he's the blessed one. It's so clear. So, but okay,
Yeah.
now we cannot begrudge him. And I just hope this Rahul, even he fails, but this Rahul is the Rahul we want to see.
Hmm.
The aggressive and clear-minded Rahul, not the defensive Punjab 11's Rahul, I guess. So that's there. And then comes our next favorite cricketer, Hardik Pandya. So Hardik Dev Pandya, we call him. And his bowling used to scare me in West Indies T20s. He was not very good. The whole bandana look was there, but he used to get smashed all around. Something happened in this Asia Cup. I don't know what, but now Pandya looked a third bowler rather than a all-rounder who was giving you 4 5 overs. So we're surprised with the transition. Could you see any difference? Because I was very surprised the speeds he was gunning, the swing, the barber in cutter bowl was one of the classic balls of the tournament.
Yeah,
So
that was excellent. I don't know. I felt a small change could be that whenever we've seen Pandya bowl before, he relies a lot on the short ball, right? He keeps likes banging the ball on the pitch.
yeah,
This time
West
I
Indies
felt
and
he
all.
used it very judiciously, right? He was trying to get the ball to swing. He was bowling that full length. He was bowling that length where he was getting the batsman to drive. The Babar ball was the same, right? He got him to drive and he missed it and the ball hit the stumps, right? So that I felt was a welcome change. He realized that he was doing too much of the short bowling and he moved to a slightly fuller length. But great, right? I mean, these are great signs. If India can get very effective overs from him, then obviously the rest of the bowling can then get that
Yeah,
confidence
yeah.
to go all out here.
And batting was, I think he had that one innings only against
Hmm.
Pakistan, if I'm correct. Otherwise, he either didn't play or he played one bad innings, I think, against Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, yeah, Nepal
Hmm.
he didn't get a chance. Sri Lanka
Hmm.
game he flopped. Finally, he didn't get a chance to
And
bat, and
Bangladesh, I
Bangladesh he was rested. So just one
rested.
failure, yeah, one
So
failure.
one very good innings, which I think again assured us that okay, this guy can stand up when the time comes. And so again, a big tick mark for the all-rounder Pandya, where he could provide you that solidity in terms of ball and bat. So that's
Correct.
good. And the next positive would be again the stand-in keeper, come left-hander, come middle order backup, come opener backup, Ishan Kishan. So again,
Jack
one of
of
those
all trades.
master of none. That's so he again one of the players with a question mark, and obviously there's a bit of favoritism here. Again, if I compare this to Samson, I'll always feel that you give both equal opportunities to both. I think Samson will give you more results, but okay, the management has taken a call on Ishan Kishan, and it will go until the World Cup end. Now I'm very sure about that. So one innings against Pakistan, which solidified his credentials as their backup keeper, and yeah, but he was fielding then half the time, so he's not keeping anymore. So now you can't drop him, right? Do you
Correct.
see any reason
A
to drop him?
question for you here. I think before this tournament started, it was like KL and Shreyas are the sure shots,
Hmm,
and
hmm, hmm.
Kishan is like your okay. Agar injury ho gaya, then we'll make him either
Backup
the backup
opener, middle,
opener
maybe.
or the backup middle order. Do you feel he's now the front runner in that middle order role after this
He is,
tournament?
but the when I saw the dismissal against Bangladesh, that reverse
Hmm.
sweep was horrible. So
Ah,
I
that
still
was
have my
bad.
doubts in this. When he gets good quality spinners in the middle overs,
Hmm.
that's where Shreyas will always trump him. And maybe that is where the management is also thinking that let's keep Rahul the keeper. And I'm sure Shreyas, if he fixes his back issues, he will get a chance against Australia. So once he
Hmm.
shows his quality, I have a feeling Shreyas should come back into it, especially on a spinning wicket. I think if the wicket is even paced and like pace friendly, Ishan is a good prospect. But it's very difficult to drop him. So I think it's going to be a straight shootout between these two in the Australia series and just
Hmm.
see how things come from there. So happy is problem. I rather have this problem than not have a player for backing up. So
Correct.
it's fine. You cannot
But we
really think.
feel for Shreyas Iyer, right? I mean, this guy looked $1 million in that game against Pakistan. I mean,
That's
who knows? If he
very
had
short game.
not hit that straight to the fielder, I think he could have easily got a 50, 60
50
in
at
that
least.
game.
Correct.
Yeah, but, and again, he then gets injured. And then, not only that game, he then doesn't play for the rest of the tournament, right? So, this India Australia series will be very crucial. And at least he'll get the first two ODIs. The third ODI, let's see, right? I think it depends
Hmm.
on the first two ODIs. Yeah.
How it goes out and whether he can play. I mean, I would suggest play him all three because he needs the match practice. But if his
Correct.
back can hold up, that's again a big question because first
Correct.
two ODIs will be in 3 days. So that's the batting and the keeping and all rounders. Everything checkboxed. And then come the bowlers, which were our question marks. And I think let's leave the number eight debate for later. But the bottom three, I think,
Hmm.
showed why they were the bottom three and like the best bowling attack ever. Kuldeep continuing from his rejuvenation since he's been back, and now he's a permanent fixture. Sadly, Chahal had to miss out, but he is bowling like $1 million, and nobody's able to figure him.
Hmm.
So he's going to be an X factor for the World Cup, right? I mean, I don't. I think he's going to be that 10 over ka gold dust bowler, our Ajanta Mendes in a way, who's going to bamboozle a lot of people in the World Cup. So
Correct.
you
And
see,
what I liked was the pace that he was bowling at, right?
it's
I mean,
faster.
earlier, I think when we saw Kuldeep struggle in that phase, he was bowling slowly, so the batsman had enough time to pick his variations. But now with his, pace off the pitch, he doesn't give batsmen enough time to react. I think that was clearly evident in the Pakistan game, where even a quality batsman like Iftikhar was just not picking him, right? He was just not
Mm-hmm.
picking him because the ball was coming so fast off the pitch, once it landed. So I think great signs, and good that they have rested him for two ODIs against Australia. So Australia
Yeah,
will not get much of a look in against him, and he hopefully he's a trump card in the Australia and England games for sure, I think, at
yeah,
least.
definitely. And then the two paces, I think we will always have the debate who are the top two paces out of the three, but I think it got answered in terms of Bumrah was always your one, and that I think was the most important part. Can Bumrah last? He did, and he did not. As per me, because he never bowled 10 overs. Because whatever he did in those 5, 6 overs was enough to
Yeah,
give us the game. And yeah, so heartening to see again the way he was bowling, the outswing, the inswing, the pace was decent. I won't say it was blistering,
correct,
but I think he's still bowling within himself. I don't think it is still. I don't think he should even try now that if this is working with the
correct.
short run up and less bending of back. I think he will be rotated in the World Cup. I hope they don't play him nine
Hmm.
games running. So
Hmm.
I think he set up the mood in the final, but I think the Pakistan match is when I think he scared
Yeah.
the living daylights of everybody because he got Imam and the way Babar could not see the ball with him. I think
He
that
wasn't
was
able
my
to touch
spell.
his, yeah, bowling also, yeah.
So that was a spell of the tournament for me in the sense of Bumrah showing that okay he's back and now we don't need to worry about him as long as the injury is kept aside. Again, that is always going to be a worry with him.
Correct.
Siraj I think was the second one, and I think how was your experience of the final? Because it was a very short final.
Yeah, one of the shortest finals, I think, in what 25 years of cricket that we have seen,
Uh,
right? But great, right? I mean, there was a particular. I mean, in that particular spell, there was a stretch where the Sri Lankan batsman couldn't even touch his ball, right? I remember Kusal Mendes, who was Sri Lanka's
the
most
best batsman.
informed batsman, 290s in the tournament. He just couldn't put bat to ball. There was an over in which he missed all six balls, right? It was that good.
Second, first
So
one.
yeah,
Mhm.
after that four wicket spell, right? So great bowling, I think, and Siraj has grown tremendously over the last 1 or 2 years, right? There was a time, you remember, when he started his career in RCB and he used to get hit all over the park, right? But Kohli invested in him, the Indian team management, invested in him, and he's so good, right? And yesterday, even after getting those wickets, you saw his commitment. He ran
Passionate.
all the way till the boundary to
Boundary, yeah.
stop that ball also. So incredible bowling yesterday. Maybe Sri Lanka could have tactically played him slightly better. Maybe
Yeah,
respected his bowling. They kept on trying to hit him, but kudos to the guy. I think he won the match single-handedly
yeah,
yesterday for me.
single-handedly. 4 wickets in 1 over is like unheard of. And
Yeah,
the funny part was the best ball wasn't in that over. The best ball was in the next over against Shanaka,
That was
where
a
he was
peach. Yeah,
bowling from wide. It came in and it went out a bit. And because of
correct,
the angle, it seemed like it really went out. It didn't go so much of an outswing, but it really held its line and went just a
correct.
bit. He was fooled. That was, I think, his best wicket of
Agree.
all things. So again, so these two have solidified themselves, and then obviously Shami will be rotated around, and I think Siraj will play every match. So the three bowlers are sorted. In terms of the good thing is all three look wicket taking now. I think we do not have any like a bowler who's going to stop the runs. Three are actual proper wicket taking options, which then leaves you room for that fourth bowler, how to play him and what to do, which we'll discuss later. So we'll
Correct.
very quickly go over the slight negatives, which I think are still areas of concern. I think number one for me would be Jadeja's batting. Not the bowler, not the fielder, but the batting. I Do you remember any innings of his in white ball? Not IPL though. And I
I,
can't.
I, I
So,
can just think of that 2019 World Cup semi-final
अरे
against New
कौन सा
Zealand,
अरे यार
right?
धोनी
That's the only one I can remember. Uh, but yeah, I think, see, his test batting has really gone up,
picked
right?
up. Yes,
He's a
yes, yes.
proper test number six now in any team all over the world.
Correct,
But I
correct,
don't know
correct.
why his stocks in, I mean, T20 he's
Okay,
done well. He won that final for CSK. But his one
okay.
day batting has just gone off the boil. And when he's batting, you don't even get that confidence that, he's going to
He's
make runs. And that game against Bangladesh, I think that was a perfect opportunity.
that's a golden
He played
opportunity.
that wild hoik, right? Wild hoik, and he,
Mm.
got bowled. So that is a concern, and they were saying on camera, I mean on commentary also, that Jadeja himself feels he should have contributed more in this tournament with the bat. So
Mhm.
hopefully, he'll address that in the time to come. If you ask me, what will be the one thing that India wants dearly in that series against Australia, they will say
Jadeja batting.
Jadeja runs with the bat, and hopefully that happens. Yeah,
I think with Pandya rested in the first two, I think he should get the chance at six at least, if not seven.
correct.
So definitely, because as a batsman, Akshar looked 100 times better than Jadeja, even in the
Mm.
small innings against Bangladesh. But we know ultimately Akshar won't make it, and I think that's going to be the reality thanks to his injury also. Poor guy got injured. Balls were thrown at him unintentionally, I hope. So he kept getting hit on his wrist. So he's injured now. So let's see his recovery. So Jadeja was one concern, and then Shreyas injury again. Let's hope it works out with the
Mm.
Australia series and no more back spasms, because now he has to play. There is no case of Rahul getting in, Kishan getting in. Everybody can play this time. Even Surya can play with the rest given to the seniors. So
Correct.
that's one. And coming to Surya, which will I think it's
Sorry, one
harsh.
last point before
Hmm.
Surya. Shardul also, I think, had a golden chance in the Bangladesh game, right? He could
Oh
have won
yeah,
that match with the bat, and that could have heightened his stocks also. Now,
number
if
eight.
you ask me, it's a question mark with him with the bat, right? I mean, there's no justification to play him at eight as a batsman. Bowling is still fine, I think. He chipped in with wickets in the
Huh.
Pakistan and the Bangladesh game. So,
Yeah, he gets you the wickets. I'm telling you, people
yeah.
try to hit him, right? So he gets wickets. I think that's how he gets it. Right now, Pandya looked more threatening than him. I think that's one thing which should not so nice. Earlier, he was the third placer. Now, if he's the fourth placer batting in eight, that's I think more question marks. Uh, and Surya, I think again only one match to judge, and that also Bangladesh on a spinning wicket, and he did not look comfortable. I saw that
Hmm.
entire innings, hoping that this guy will
Yeah.
improve, but
Shakib had the wood over him. Shakib was clearly beating him. Yeah.
he kept sweeping, and he kept missing, and you would know eventually he'll fall. So yeah, it's surprising because he can play all over, right? He's not Rizwan, he has to sweep everything. So he has a 360 game. He should have been more tactful, and that was a golden opportunity. Luckily for him, the management will take him to the World Cup,
Hmm.
but he needs to get some runs under his belt. And I hope in this Australia series, if the team gets a good start, they put him at three also if required. Because playing Tilak right now doesn't make sense for me, because you're just wasting your resources, right? I mean, you get
Hmm.
people who need runs like Jadeja and Surya up. If you lose a game, you lose a game. I think for once in our lives, if India lose to Australia, we won't mind, because we know there's a bigger picture, and because we won a
Correct.
trophy also after ages. So yeah, I think. Uh, One of those things which I hope works out, so that at least he has some confidence. I think right now the confidence is the issue, because the way he bats
Hmm.
is itself very scary. It's like Rahul only.
Correct.
you, you know that this guy is going to screw up very soon. Even though at T20, when he goes to T20, he changes as
The
a
mindset is
batsman.
completely different.
So I think the future, as you suggested in a previous video, was play him as a finisher at six or seven. So that's the game he understands better. So let's see if he gets an opportunity. And coming to the last topic, number eight, as you mentioned, like Shardul didn't use his opportunity, and I think with Pandya's bowling, it has opened up another slot for a change in the 15-man squad, and I think that's
Hmm.
what was a good news today when we saw the announcement for Australia's squad, at least for the first two ODIs. So the seniors have rested, and in comes our Ashwin and Sundar. So
What
what
is it with World Cups and Ashwin suddenly
Ashwin, right?
making an entry, right?
I
Always.
think it's just a phone call, I think. And his YouTube videos, right? I think I follow him a bit, but I
Yeah.
think he's so out there, right? He never gets lost because the YouTube channel is always there, so he's always in the scheme of things. So
Hmm.
quality to hai na, legend hai. So now it's about how do you prioritize Ashwin and Sundar. That I think that is a problem we faced before also, and it's very
Correct.
difficult to, because both have their pros and cons. Especially in one day setup, then Sundar wins based on better batting and
Batting.
lefty, better fielder, obviously, with the age on his side, but he's injury prone. Ashwin
Hmm.
plays so little, he doesn't get injured. I think he plays every test match. They don't
Yeah.
let him play is another thing, but
Hmm.
he's always fit from
Yeah.
what my memory serves.
And more a bowler with better skill, right, compared
Any day,
to
any day.
Washi. So yeah.
Correct, correct. So that's the major change from this Australia squad,
Hmm.
wherein they have got these two in. Ruturaj Gaikwad is a weird selection. I think they just,
That came
it's
out
like,
of the blue. Yeah.
yeah, it's like घर का बच्चा. I think like आप तो आ जाओ थोड़ी देर बैठ जाओ एशिया कप. He's going for the Asian Games, so
Yeah.
get a feel of the Indian jersey and then go win us a medal in Asian Games. I think maybe that's why.
But I
Because I
think
don't
you
think
have to feel for Samson, right? When
yeah, yeah.
Gaikwad can make it into the squad, who is not even in the reckoning to be in the World Cup, right? I
It
mean,
is,
Samson at least was in the reckoning till you know what, the West Indies series, right? I
हाँ,
think.
हाँ,
I mean, you
मतलब
have run out of
तो
words now. Yeah.
हाँ, the only thing I can think about probably is ओपनर है गायकवाड, सो मे बी बैकअप के लिए अगर कुछ गिल और किशन में से किसी को कुछ हो गया तो रेस्ट गायकवाड खेलेगा. लेकिन मिडल ऑर्डर तो भरा पड़ा है ना. मिडल ऑर्डर एनीवेज वी गोइंग टू ट्राई सो मेनी पीपल नाउ.
Hmm.
प्रमोशंस टू जडेजा, सूर्या खेलेगा, अय्यर, राहुल, तिलक. आई डोंट नो व्हाई इज देयर, आई स्टिल डोंट अंडरस्टैंड, बट ठीक है, ये इन्वेस्टमेंट है फ्यूचर का. एंड ही गिव्स यू एन ऑफ स्पिनिंग बॉलिंग ऑप्शन व्हिच ही डिड अगेंस्ट बांग्लादेश. तो uh, unfair of Samson, but let's hope after this World Cup, when we get a clear out, when new teams get structured, hopefully he gets a look in because deserves a longer rope than what he's got clearly. So yeah, so the number eight, I think that's the thing. I think this is what this Australia series boils down to. At least the first two
Hmm.
ODIs, because ODI three में सब आ जाएंगे seniors वापस, just to one for the one last time to play together and see how we play. Australia itself is in a bad state with its injuries, and they played the B team against South Africa. So they had a 2-0 advantage in the ODI series and they lost 3-2. So they are having their own injury problems galore, 5-6 injuries minimum. So उनका देखते हैं who comes finally. Maybe they rest their big guns as well. So you see anything else as a possible opportunity in the ODI series, Australia?
I think it will be more of continuing this momentum, right? Because Asia Cup, as you said, after a long time we have won a trophy, right? The Indian fans were waiting for this. We had enough of those Paytm trophy wins and all that, right? Now we wanted
Yeah.
a multi-nation tournament. We have got that. And I think if we can win this Australia series 3-0, right? That will be a
Mm.
statement to the teams in the World Cup that, hey, India is the team to beat, right? So great chance for us to, even if not, let's say 3-0, 2-1 also. Even
Ah,
3-0 obviously will be Sone Pe Suhaga, but even if not that 2-1, it will be a strong statement. And again, those one or two things that we want to address, right? Jaddu's runs and,
Surya.
seeing Ashwin and Washi who will, make a stronger claim, and Surya, right? If all those boxes get ticked, then we'll be going into the World Cup with a very good chance. Then, yeah.
I think one point before we close is Kuldeep is also rested, so that's one of the funny ones, which is good. I think he's a mystery bowler. Let's keep him a
Correct.
mystery. So Bumrah, Siraj, and then your pure spinner slot is empty. So that's where I think and Pandey is not playing. So your
Correct.
third pacer is gone. So most likely number eight will be Shardul only. I don't think they will play two pacers and three spinners because nobody in the top five or six is going to bowl except Jaddu, right?
Hmm.
At seven. So
Correct.
now the possibility of I think they'll play Ashwin to start with at least first match, and then let's see from there. Maybe they give Sundar Ashwin one match each. I think that's the only combination possible. Or
Hmm.
they won't reduce the batting. I think the batters need more
Correct.
time. So playing
Hmm.
Jaddu at six, Ashwin at seven,
Hmm.
Sundar at eight, and then three paces.
First match is at Mohali. I don't remember the other two venues, but Mohali traditionally doesn't spin, right? Favors pace more, so
हाँ,
that
तो
will
शार्दुल
also
ही
be
खेलेगा फिर
interesting.
तो.
Yeah.
ठीक है, नाइन तक बैटिंग हो गया ऐसे सोचो.
Hmm.
अश्विन एट, शार्दुल नाइन. But हाँ, पांड्या का पता चलेगा. We will
Hmm.
be a bit hamstrung, but I don't think that we should see the series as something we want to win it. It's more about
Correct.
seeing how the players play mentally and how fit they are and whether they can stand up to Australia. Because this will be a weekend Australia. I don't think either we win against them or we lose against them. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be the real Australia you face in the World Cup because that's a different beast. So yeah,
Correct.
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so great discussion. I think we just didn't realize how time went by with so many interesting points that we discussed, right? And once again, we just cannot, emphasize on how much this tournament meant for us, right? So many positives. We had to struggle to find the negatives,
Negatives.
right?
Yeah.
So we had a great time reviewing this. And now the most important thing to look forward to is now our next videos, which we line up in, the next 1 or 2 weeks is the squad reviews for all the teams in the World Cup. Right, so we'll be doing that, and right now there's so much international cricket happening, right? So we all know what's happening between England and New Zealand, Australia and South Africa. So we'll have a lot of good inputs to come in the squad previews. please do tune into that, and please do let us know your thoughts on this video, right, where we even covered the talking points of the squad for the Australia series. Please do let us know your thoughts. Do like, comment, share, and subscribe, and do look forward to our review videos, because we'll have a lot of fun talking on some great points there as we look ahead to the mega event of the World Cup. So on that note, it's bye from Sumit and me, and take care. See you.
Thank you.